Welcome everybody to one of our other episodes at the FPEA convention here in Orlando, Florida. And we are very blessed to be able to have incredible speakers and just incredible influencers with us. And we have an incredible influencer and just awesome gal with us today. And this is Karen Jaroch. And she is with Heritage Action, and she is the state director now. And Karen and I go back a long, long way. And Karen is just, she's right in the fight, and she's awesome. And I'm just really glad that thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for asking me.
So what I'd like, Karen, is for you to tell our audience, first of all, who you are. How did you get involved with, I know it didn't start off with Heritage Action. You started off doing other things. But then how did you become the state representative? But then tell us, we really want to know about Heritage Action, because we at WIN want to be kingdom builders.
Yes.
And so we really want to be able to, be bridge builders and kingdom builders with people, not burning bridges, but, building bridges. And so it's really important for all of you to know Heritage Action. You guys are in the fight, so I just really want them to know, first about you, how'd you get involved? Because you are a woman impacting this nation, for sure. And then a little bit about Heritage Action.
Well, I got my start politically in 2009 with the Tea Party movement. I'm actually trained as a professional engineer. Did that for a while before becoming a stay-at-home mom. I have 4 children. And then when my youngest was in middle school, the Tea Party movement came. And so I got involved. I formed a group in Tampa. And
I think that's where we start. We really kind of meet.
Probably, So we crossed a lot of paths. We do a lot of state things at that time. And then the Obama economy turned around. My husband was a civil engineer. He got laid off, believe it or not, with the stimulus and all this, shovel-ready jobs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Civil engineer gets laid off. So all my volunteer for candidates and causes, I was looking for paid work. And so I started working for Americans for Prosperity in 2011 and 12 for the 2012 campaign. I hate to tell you who was running for president, who we were supporting at the time. I'm not very proud of that, but
I get it.
I think we all were as conservatives. We had to go with it. After that, when the campaign was over, Heritage Action was just forming their grassroots component. So they were looking for someone with grassroots experience, which I had from the Tea Party movement. They were looking for somebody with at least a year of campaign experience, which I was just fresh off, and they wanted someone based in Tampa. So I felt like, this might have been a God-directed thing. So that's how I came to be at Heritage Action.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you've been in the fight, and but tell us a little bit about Heritage Action. What exactly do they do? Do they do a lot? And people really need, because you have a Sentinel call on, we have a call on Mondays, and but tell our audience what what they do.
So Heritage Action is, we were formed in 2010 to be the advocacy arm of the Heritage Foundation. Heritage Foundation has been around for now over 50 years.
Wow. And
they're a public policy think tank based in Washington. They come up with great policy, but they needed a sister organization in order to promote that policy, and that's where Heritage Action was formed. And then in 2012, they started their grassroots component, where they actually had people out in the field in the states actually, spreading the policies and holding our politicians accountable. Because too many times, candidates, they run on a great platform, but then in practice, it doesn't always come out. So we had a scorecard, how conservative is your member of Congress? And we dealt primarily with federal issues for many, many years. Recently, we've now started, the fight is now with the states, so we actually do state advocacy as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the Florida legislature, in addition to Florida, I have Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So, so right now I have 2 states in session, and it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of work, but I'm learning a lot in my new states. So we have a big policy portfolio, as you might imagine, with the Heritage Foundation. We work with immigration, so securing the border. Recently, a win I think we just had was on the Title IX fight. That's where the Biden administration was trying to force biological males into women's sports. I can imagine. So we were put a portal together. We got thousands and thousands of comments, and the idea is the more comments you have, the more you can kind of throw sand in the gears of the system and stop these bad, in this case it was a rule. Unfortunately rules, if they go into effect, have the force of law. So we work on gender issues, we work on immigration, the economy, spending. I mean, there's just so many areas that China, fighting communist China.
Oh, wow.
So I think of our 7 policy priorities at the state level, we were very fortunate. I think all 7 priorities had bills that passed. So,
really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
What is the website where people can go to see you guys?
Yeah, so heritageaction.com is our website. We have a Sentinel program, as you alluded to, and that is if you are interested in getting information about these public policy fights in Washington or here in the States, we have a Monday call at 5:30. It's a half hour. It's packed with a lot of information about what's happening in the coming week. And if you miss the call, we have a summary on Tuesdays, a call summary, and then on Saturdays we have kind of a wrap-up email. This is how it, what happened, and this is what to look forward to the next week.
So, well, that's really important because we talk truth and we take action, and you guys are action oriented.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's what we try to get across to everybody is that, it's at some point, prayer is the foundation, but at some point you got to get off your knees and act, right? Faith without action is dead.
That's right.
And so we really encourage, everybody to do something. And when we have what's called call to action, and I think we're going to have to talk about that because it's called Call One Day. I shouldn't say call to action. It's called Call One Day, but it's an action orientation and getting everybody to make a phone call because our legislators need to know that they work for us.
That's right.
Right? We don't work for them, but I think they forget that.
Yeah.
There was one congressman, you may know who it is, but he used to say to me, so when you cross the Potomac, truth becomes subjective. Or in Florida, is it Madison? That's the when you cross Madison, truth becomes subjective.
That's right. Wow,
and
that is so true.
And so that really bothers me. It's like if you're going to run, and I know some of it you're running because, I don't know, whatever the reason is, but if you say to people that you're going to do something, then when you get there, then do it.
That's right.
But when they get there, all of a sudden there is this muck and I don't know the swamp.
Well, there's a lot of lobby influences.
But it's like, then where's your character, right? It's like, so it's really up to us, and we can't point the finger at these legislators, or even Biden or anybody else, and they're doing this bad, because when you point the finger, you got 3 pointing back at you.
That's right.
So it's really our fault that we haven't really we haven't held them accountable. I think that if you, I think it's really going to be incumbent upon us, but we have to get educated first on facts. And so this is really, really important for everybody to go to heritageaction.org or .com.
Yeah, heritageaction.com.
Okay, I'm sorry, heritageaction.com. And get involved because now, so they go there, do they do a link if they want to help you
so you can tool around the site. There's a tab called Sentinel, and if you click on that, it shows a video of our program, and it's a 2-minute video.
Okay.
And then if you like what you see, then you can sign up, and it's free. There's no cost. We hold a lot of events that you'd be invited to. We have these calls, this information on emails.
We went to, I think there was one in Orlando that we had gone to.
That was our national convention.
It was amazing. You learned a lot, and I think it's important that if you're going to be informed, get informed with facts, and then go and find out what floats your boat.
That's right.
Right? And so
God writes that issue on your heart, and you'll know it. Yeah.
Well, that's why we ask 3 questions. The first one is why you here, what's important. The second one is what's important to you. And the third is why do you believe the way you believe.
Yes.
But the second question is what's important to you is so vital because I think there's so much coming at us that sometimes we want to go home, go to bed, put the covers over our head and say, Jesus, come right now, because it's like inundated. People don't know, they're overwhelmed. And find out what floats your boat. Go to heritageaction.com and click on to Sentinel, get on and get information about Heritage Action. And you can't find a better person in Florida or any place else to to really get involved with. Even, for those of you that are in Alabama and Missouri, is that right?
Alabama, Mississippi,
Oh,
and
Mississippi.
Louisiana.
I knew it was an M. I'm sorry. Mississippi, Alabama,
Yes.
and
Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Okay. So we just need to get everybody, Americans, get involved, because when we show up, we win. We're just not showing up.
Yep.
So I just want to thank you, Karen, for just taking this, short time away from your booth over there. And this has been an incredible convention. It always is. They said like 17, 20,000 people, something like that. It's crazy.
It's incredible.
But it's awesome. And get educated. We thank you for joining us. And again, go to heritageaction.com and get to know Karen Jaroch. She is our state representative here in Florida. And just come join us at womenimpactingthenation.org, because when we show up, we win. God bless you all, and we'll see you in the next podcast.